Hi, I want to talk a little bit about classroom management in a group violin class because it's not always the easiest thing to have a group of like 12 students and have them constantly resisting playing this instrument that makes sounds, How can we kind of create the expectation that these students are gonna not play when they're not supposed to play and only play when they're supposed to play and only play the exact right thing that they're supposed to play at the exact right time? How do we as violin teachers create that environment? Well, it's absolutely up to you to create that expectation from the beginning that certain things aren't allowed and certain things are, and it's your responsibility to also inspire students to want to do the right thing at the right time and inspire students to want to be good students. How do you do that? Well, one of the ways that I've taught you already is through the card game and through the coin game. And I think that is a really special game because it teaches students to, it doesn't really teach students, it actually puts the responsibility in their own hands to make the right decision. So it's up to them to win, and they know how to win because they know the objective of the game and they know what it takes to win. Hopefully, if you've made it clear, it should be pretty simple. There should only be one objective for each time you play the card game. It's either playing as one big violin, or everyone's got a right bow hold, or everyone's doing the correct bowing on their shoulder, down, up, or everyone's playing on the E string and only the E string, or everyone's got their violin way up on their shoulder, So there should always be one objective, and it should be easy for them to win if they're focusing on that one objective. I think that the card game and the coin game can be even more effective if you're not talking during the game. So if I see something that is happening in a class that should not be happening, like I'll say let's have a running card game throughout the entire class. Anytime anyone plays the violin when they're not supposed to play, I get a coin. And you do it very silently. You just slide that coin over from their pile to your pile, and they'll just start policing each other and policing themselves and just be like getting angry at the students who are playing when they shouldn't be. They'll all look at Jacob and be like, Jacob, stop! Why are you doing that? Why are you making us lose? And then you just stay there quietly because you're not the one getting mad at them, because if you put the responsibility in the student's hand, then they are going to hopefully, if they know what the expectation is, hopefully they'll take the responsibility and they'll feel pride in making the right decision by themselves and not having someone tell them they were making a right or wrong decision. It's up to them to be a good student, but you have to inspire them to want to be a good student, and you have to tell them what it takes to be a good student, without constantly lecturing. Your responsibility as a teacher is not to tell them when they're doing something wrong all the time, or when really you have to teach them how to do something right and tell them when they're doing it right. And it'll be more fun for you if you give them control over their own behavior and over their own playing. If you're telling them what to do all the time and telling them when they're doing something wrong, they're not going to respect you as much as a teacher. And basically what you want to do as a teacher is put more power in their hands to do the right thing. And you have to create the right environment and the right learning activities in order for them to do that. And I think the card game and the coin game is a very good way of setting that up, because the objectives are clear, they know how to meet the expectations, and it's easy to meet the expectations because you're not asking them to do 10 things at once. You're asking them to just focus on one thing and try your best at it. And if they try their best at it, they're going to win and they're going to do a great job and they're going to feel good about doing the right thing and they're going to feel good about being a good student and they're going to try and continue down that path, ideally. If you have any other suggestions about how to foster this kind of learning environment or these kind of activities, please comment. And I would love to be able to engage further in this discussion because it's always something that I'm constantly working on as a teacher because that's what makes a great teacher is if you can create those kind of learning environments where students are taking their own learning into their own hands and you are just fostering that kind of learning way of learning, then you're doing an awesome job. And that's like one of the best things you could possibly do is teach someone how to teach themselves, essentially. So please do comment if you do have any other ways of creating this kind of environment in a violin class.